Girl Diaries. So today I wanted to expand a little bit on a video I did previously about food prepping in the wake of potential food shortages. So in the wake of the food shortages, what's definitely going to be happening without a shadow of a doubt is the food prices are going to be rising. Right now the meat, it's the end of June, and right now the meat we're eating has not been raised on the inflation prices. It's not been raised on the high gas prices and the high feed prices that currently everyone is experiencing. So what that means is everyone is seeing these meat prices going up, and it's across the board. It's everything is going up. And I'm afraid, I don't think we've hit that yet. I don't think we've actually hit the point where the things that we're eating have been raised during this inflation that we're in currently. The fertilizer crisis that was happening in the fall, it hasn't really hit us yet. So I don't think we've been hit by the full force of what's gonna happen. So again, the point of my last video is never to scare fear. I don't think we are in a point where we need to be fearful, but it's just doing what you can to start kind of preparing and stocking up on your food storage. Food storage has been something that people have done forever. And it's only honestly very recently, within the past 50, 60 years, that we have stopped doing as much food storage as we've done in the past because of the convenience of grocery stores and the convenience of you can go to the store and get what you need that day. And that has really spoiled us. And I see across my Instagram, and it's not even with, inflation and COVID and staffing shortages, it's not all that stuff. A woman I follow on Instagram, I think it's Midwestern Roots. I'll tag her below. She just had a tornado come through it, multiple tornadoes went through her town. And we all see that happens in the Midwest all the time. And it came through her town, and thank God that her and her family were safe. But what ended up happening is it took out everything. It took out their electric. It took out, so if you don't have electric, you don't have water. Their grocery stores were closed. Gas stations were closed. Everything was closed for about a week. Okay, I don't have electricity for about a week. What do you do? Now, with what I'm about to talk about today, my new freezer doesn't really help us too much. But with her, she has a farm, she had animals. She couldn't get water for her animals. She was having to run back and forth. The people that lived outside of where she was and trucking in water twice a day. When it came to their food, she was taking all the frozen food. She was trying to get it all canned. And it just really highlighted that there could be a situation where you're not able to go to the grocery stores. She said for that week, their grocery stores, all the restaurants, everything were closed. If you had gas in your car, you could drive somewhere else outside of their town limits. I think it was about half an hour, I think she said was the surplus where they didn't have anything. So could you drive somewhere and get what you needed? Yes. But the gas stations were closed. So if you didn't have gas in your car, you couldn't even get anywhere. There was this radius where there was nothing. And so it could have left people stranded and without a way to feed their families. It definitely, like, she had the problem and she since fixed it, but she had the problem where she's like, I can't water my animals. I can't flush our toilets. And it's all these things that it's definitely time that we bring this back into the forefront. Our grandparents and even for me, my parents in their 60s, even their generation had food stores. And it's really only a new problem that people don't have food stores. So what happens when there's a medical event, a national emergency, or something that we're about to, I think, experience in the fall with its food shortages, people aren't prepared for that. So again, I'm not scared, I'm not fearful, but what I am able to do, I'm going to do. So I just purchased this big baby. This is a Frigidaire 14 cubic, I think it's cubic unit. It might be cubic feet, but 14 cubic unit freezer. And I've been stocking her up. So my grocery stores around here, we have one big one, and they have this app that every time something goes on, it's like Best Buy date is coming up, they're lower by 50%. So I've been using it to buy meat, and I'm gonna show you, I have stocked up this freezer. I have had this freezer for about close to a month, a little less than a month, and I have gotten it stocked up. The reason being, number one, if I can buy the meat now at a discount, I want to. And I'm putting this meat away. My goal is to go through fall and winter without having to buy meat. I feed my dog meat. I make her own food. So her food is chicken. I have chicken livers, turkey. I feed her meat and her foods. I want to make sure between my dog and me that I can keep this thing stocked up as much as possible. And then if I want to buy something from the store, I'm doing it out of a want and not a need. And then two, if in the fall I see any of these items on sale, I can purchase them then if I choose to. And I think that's the best way to get prepared. I keep having girlfriends that I'm talking to, I'm telling them what I'm doing, and I keep talking to people, and it's always just so intimidating. Where do you start? You start small. Start with one item and keep going. So this freezer is stocked, well, not stocked, but it has none of this I would have been able to have when I just had this extra spare fridge. So the fact that I have this freezer now has really allowed me to both stock up on my meat purchases and 2, stock up on the things I can put away. So we're gonna talk about all the ways that you can have a surplus. I'm gonna do a quick dive through my freezer. The first thing I just put in there I just got today was some Hawaiian sweet rolls. I make a delicious ham and cheese slider sandwich with these rolls. They're normally $5. I got these for, I think they were $2.25. So I'm like, I'm just gonna buy them, throw them in the freezer. Bread freezes really well. And then I thought this would be great over any time if I want sliders. I already had the ham frozen. I just need to get some cheese, and I have everything I need to do to make a sandwich that will feed. There's 9 sliders in there. And again, I know it's something I eat, so I'm just buying it while it's on sale and putting it back. I also plan on doing more of these, but I bought a whole bunch of strawberries and I've made them into a strawberry syrup. Now you can use this for anything. You can use this for cakes, for oatmeals, for desserts, but I'm gonna use this with shortcake. But I have 4 of these put back, and like I said, I wanna do more, but I have 4 of these put back, so I know this is 4 meals for me. And again, it's just food security. I know there's 4 meals here, and it just makes me feel good. As my broccoli's been coming in, I've been blanching and freezing my broccoli and my kale, and I'm just putting these away. Broccoli is something I love to eat during the winter time. I like it now, but right now I have so many things coming in that I can't preserve, such as snap peas and zucchini. I do shred my zucchini and I put it in some other things, but zucchini is just so abundant that I'm okay eating some zucchini now and freezing some, whereas my broccoli isn't as prolific as my zucchini. So I'm eating some as it comes in, definitely, but like I said, I am blanching and freezing it. My goal is to try to grow all the broccoli I need throughout the year. This next one, you can't tell what this is, but what this is a bag of shredded potatoes for hash browns. I just bought a big 8-pound bag of Idaho baking potatoes. They were on sale for $2.29, and they were 8 pounds of potatoes, and there was nothing wrong with them. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy them. I made 2 hash brown casseroles. One's gonna go in my freezer when I get back inside. One is for breakfast for the week. But then the rest of them, I just took up and I shredded, and they're in my freezer ready to go as hash browns, shredded potatoes, whatever I want. And then I also got a different 8-pound bag, and I made a whole bunch of pierogies with them. So the pierogies I buy are normally $10. I guess they're probably actually $12 now, I think. $12 for a decent sized bag, but definitely the bag I just showed you definitely is more than what was in that bag. And there's 2 things I like about it. One, I'm able to customize the pierogies to what I want. I have my dog inside, and I hear her barking. I want to make sure nothing's happening. Hi. I don't know if you can see. Say hi, Zoe. Okay, so the pierogies are definitely, let me put this down for now. The pierogies are definitely something that I can make cheaper. So the pierogies are something I can definitely make cheaper. I made 2 big bags. One is just cheese, and one I put sauerkraut in, and I'm really loving that. And I still, honestly, I'm letting most of it go to waste. I still have half a pot of potatoes, the mashed potatoes, and I'm letting them go to waste. This is 3 batches of pierogies, 3 batches of dough, filling it. That took probably like an hour to do. Well, no, it took a couple of hours, but it was just such a tedious process, and I ran out of time, and I haven't really got time since. And now it's been about a week, and I think the mashed potatoes are probably too far gone, so they're probably unfortunately gonna get pitched. I'm not a fan of. I'm talking about food shortages and how you need to buy food now and stock up, and here I have half a pot of mashed potatoes in the house that I'm probably gonna throw away. That does suck, but I do know now going into it, I did an entire 8-pound bag of potatoes. Don't do that anymore. I honestly did as many as I did with half of those potatoes, so from now on, I'm gonna stick to about 4 pounds of potatoes to make a big old batch of pierogies. But again, buy the potatoes on sale, buy them at $2.49, and then you can turn them into all these different things. So quick process in the food processor, and those shredded ones are ready to go. And I know I have them for future purchases, or I know I have them for future meals. Hash browns, shredded potatoes, you name it, the whole 9 yards. So let's see what else we have in here. So I've organized it by meat. So I have like this big bag. This is my chicken bag, and it has everything that's chicken related. Over here I have, this is my pork bag. So I just have a ton of pork in there. And you can see I'm just buying stuff and throwing it in a Ziploc bag in some cases and throwing it in the freezer. This is some boneless pork ribs that were $4. Not even. These were $2. These were $2 for 4 ribs. What you saw me packing up this morning was some hamburgers. They had some bacon cheddar hamburgers, beef hamburgers, on sale. They were normally $12. It was 10 hamburgers, and they were normally $24. I got them for $12. So when you do the math, that comes out to $1.29 per hamburger. So I thought, again, that's a really great purchase. I can eat those hamburgers now. If I have a future party, I have them. But for me, I wrap them up individually. So if I just want like one hamburger, I can just come in, grab one hamburger, defrost it, and then grill it. But that's what I encourage you to do. See what your grocery store has, and can you take it and process it, turn it into something that you know your family needs. So I just have bags of everything. I have a big old bag of hamburger. I have a big old bag of hamburger, big old bag of pork, a big old bag of chicken. And then down here is my corn bag. That corn bag needs to be topped up this summer. There's my big old bag of kale. I have a chicken. I just bought a whole chicken today that was on sale back there in the back. And then I have a turkey from last Thanksgiving I got for free that I have to cook up. And so what I like about doing the bag system is I can kind of keep track of what I need, what's empty, where everything is. I think I'm gonna have to get a broccoli bag here because my broccoli's getting filled up. I also think I'm gonna have to get a bag for all my peppers. I do have a lot of peppers I put away every year, and that way, again, it just kind of keeps everything organized, and I like that. I'm also gonna be thinking about doing some things like freezing some butter. Right now, butter is double the price it was. I was buying butter for like $2.29 for a 4-pack, and right now it's $4, which means each stick is $1. And that is ridiculous. And I've looked into buying raw milk and making my own butter from raw milk. And again, I don't think that price difference is going to be there. I think just in general, all dairy products have risen. So I'm going to be buying butter whenever I see it on sale. I'm checking all those flyers, all those merchandisers. If I see stick butter on sale, I'm going to snatch it up. Cheese freezes really well, as does bread. So if you see those breads, right now the app that I had a whole bunch of breads on sale for like $1 a piece. So check your local stores, see what they have on their discounted rack, see if you have any discount grocery stores, and you can buy them and put them in a freezer, or buy them if you don't have a freezer. You can buy a lot of things like this hamburger meat and you can can it and keep it in your pantry. It's shelf stable. You don't need anything additional to put it back. Cheeses are something else I want to make sure that I can have on hand. I know Parmesan cheese. I have a Parmesan blend that I buy from Sam's Club, and it's Parmesan, Asiago, and Fontina, I believe. And that freezes really well. So I have a whole bunch of that in the freezer already. I'm gonna buy one more bag this summer, and that's gonna get me through the winter with no problem. And that freezes really well. But I also wanna look into things like cheddar cheese and pepper jack cheese. Those are the two cheeses I use so much. And I know before fall hits, they've already doubled. Well, they've not quite doubled. I think they've gone up probably about $1. And we're not even, I don't think that's affected us yet. So I think that's gonna continue to go up. So if these things go on sale, I'm gonna buy them when they're on sale. But what I wanna try to do is I'm going to do a test on my cheddar cheese, and I wanna see if it freezes well. So I'm gonna buy a block of cheese, shred some of it, put it in the freezer, get it frozen, and then bring it out and see how its texture was, see if it was still good enough I could eat it as just cheddar cheese, or if it needed to go in something like a soup or a casserole or something like that. But that's something that I could buy now before the price goes up, put it in my freezer and try to keep it for the fall. Again, at some point you're just gonna need to accept that the prices are gonna go up, and it is what it is. But if you can do some of these things ahead of time to help prepare for those price increases, all the better. I've started making my own kombucha, and this is another one of those things that I am so glad I have on hand for a couple of different reasons. One, the obvious, it's so good for you. It's so good for you, and it's delicious. But the second reason I really love having it on hand is that I can make this myself. This is something that for me does replace the need for soda, and honestly even for beer. I was somebody who always would come home from work, grab a beer to kind of unwind. This this kind of like replaces that need. I just come home, instead of grabbing a beer, I'm like, let me get some kombucha. It's better for me. I'm not wasting money on the beer. And I think it's really good. I love being able to flavor it different ways. So far, I've done a strawberry pineapple one, which I'm really obsessed with. That's my favorite one so far. But I love the idea of having this on hand. This is a drink, not a soda, but it's a carbonated drink that I can make for literal pennies. And it's so good for you. And again, it's just one of those things that I love having on my shelf, knowing that I can do myself. So the next thing you can do is something I just got today, if I can get it open. I don't think I can get it open. I don't know if you heard that. That was my cat being a crazy cat. So, one of the things that has been going up already is I think it's for me is double. Well, again, I say doubled in price, and for me, doubled in price, it went from $1 something to $2 and something, or $3 and something. So I'm not always using the doubled in price correctly, but my eggs around here were about $1.89 a dozen, and now they're about $3 a dozen. So whether the doubled is correct or not, they've still risen. So I had, what I would have preferred to get, but these I think are gonna be just fine, is I had a 2-pound container of dehydrated eggs on Amazon, and it was 2 pounds from August Farms, I think. It's one of the main sources of dehydrated eggs, and I've seen a lot of other homesteaders on here who are lucky enough to have a freeze dryer, and they freeze dry their eggs with their chickens. And I think if you have chickens, I think you need to have a freeze dryer. I think these two go hand in hand. But they can take these eggs, and it's 2 tablespoons of eggs to 2.5 tablespoons of water, and you add the water, you stir it all together, and it goes back to an egg that you just broke. So you obviously can't use it as a sunny side up egg because it's all mixed up, but it makes great scrambled eggs. It's great when you need an egg for bacon. It's great for that sort of thing. So the container I had on Amazon was $23. So I was kind of waiting for the next payday. Okay, I'll get it. Then last week it went up to $87. And the last time I checked, which was Friday, it was $115. I'm actually going to check now because I'm really curious to see what it is. So let me go check and I'll be right back. Okay, it has come down to $91. But if you remember, I put it in my cart probably about a week and a half ago. It was $23, then up to $87, then up to $115, and now it's at a $91. And I panicked. The whole reason I had dehydrated eggs in my cart is not because I'm like, oh, dehydrated eggs sound delicious. It was, I want to have a product on hand that in case it's too expensive at the grocery store, which is honestly what it comes down to for me. In case it's too expensive at the grocery store. I do have some farm friends here who have chickens and who have ducks that I've said, hey, if you have any extra eggs, let me know. If I need some, can I buy some from you? Absolutely. And I know I have that resource, but it's also one of those things that I just want to feel prepared. And there are certain staple foods for me that I need to have on hand, and eggs are one of them. Other ones for me are flour and sugar. I feel very called to have flour, sugar, and salt. You can do so much with that, from bread to pasta to pie crust. Like, you can do so much with that, just those couple ingredients. So those are some ingredients I needed to have. Eggs is another. I need to make sure that I can have eggs. And when I saw, and maybe this worked, but it didn't work for the company that I was initially going to buy it from. But maybe they raised their prices, create kind of like a fear, and I went and I bought it. So I ended up buying it from a different company though. This one was not near as much. This is 11 ounces. So I don't think it's a pound. I think 16 ounces is a pound. So this isn't a pound, but this was $23. So definitely the other price would have been better, but I think I think I blew it. I think I waited too long to buy it, and now it's through the roof, and I don't know when it'll come back down. So I just sprang out and bought this. This is from Judy's, and it's just dried eggs, and all you have to do is add some water, and they'll come right back like scrambled eggs. I have never tried this variety. It says it's great for bacon. They did have a brand that was like cheesy scrambled eggs, and they did have like a variety that was just scrambled eggs. So maybe this is like not, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet. It just says the ingredients are 100% whole dried egg powder, so I don't understand why I couldn't use it for scrambled eggs too. And this one does say after opening, store in refrigerator. So I'll just put it in the outside fridge when I open it. But I'm going to keep this just locked in here, put this in my cabinet, put this in my pantry, and I know if I need eggs, I can have eggs. It's not something that I need to go out and purchase. If the price goes through the roof, I don't need to make that commitment. I have something that can get me through. You can also start thinking about other ideas. So I know there's a woman I follow on Instagram, Fallen Oaks Farm, who is brilliant at the whole idea of putting food back and preserving food and all this stuff. And she has a ton of these dehydrated foods. Now, when we talk about dehydrated foods, we're not talking about those astronaut kits that look and taste terrible, you know, that you have when you go camping. We're talking about things that, in worst case scenarios, are actually quite good. But there's everything that you can buy. There's peanut butter, there's milk, there's cheese, there's butter. So there's a whole bunch, especially from this line. I'll put the name of it here. But it's this farm company, called a farm, that has all these dehydrated products. So even if you don't have the room for a freezer, or you don't want or have the ability to learn how to can, or the desire to learn how to can, you can still buy some of these products. And for me, I'm not going out and buying all of them. For me, so far, I've only bought the eggs, and I do have some dehydrated milk. But that's really all I need. For me, I just need the basics, and I don't need to eat in elegance and splendor. I can kind of just eat in the basics and I'll be fine. So that's what I'm just trying to do. I'm just trying to make sure I have the basics that can keep me going through whatever the rest of the year might have. So that's what I just encourage you to start doing. Look at the grocery stores, find what you can find on sale, and look at how you can maybe like repurpose it, like my potatoes. I have a whole thing of potatoes here that I'm trying to thaw out. I put them on here to flash freeze, and then I forgot about them. So now they're just a permanent part of that cookie sheet. But when you see these things, see what you can do and buy them. I know my grocery store just had a whole bunch of the sweet mini peppers on sale for $2 a bag. And I have this thing where I'm like, you can't buy vegetables that aren't from your garden, so I didn't buy them. But if you are normal and you don't have that same rule like I do, you can buy those, and again, either eat them now or put them back in your freezer. Mini peppers freeze really well. I actually have a whole bunch that I froze from my garden last year, and they freeze really quite well. They don't keep their crispiness, but I get them out and I cut them open, I fill them with cheese, a little bit of garlic oil, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, and I roast them in the oven. So good. So again, just start thinking about the things that you can do from your grocery store when they're on sale. What can you do to either put back in your freezer so you have food for the future, or what can you put on your shelves? Canned goods. If the canned goods go on sale, buy the canned goods. Buy the pasta. I have a rule, I never buy pasta if it's more than $1. Pasta always goes on sale for less than $1, and it all tastes fine just the same. So buy the pasta when it goes on sale for $1, buy it and stock up on it. Pasta is something that I think everybody eats. It's definitely something that a box of spaghetti and a jar of spaghetti sauce, you have a meal that most people like. So definitely just start thinking about what you can do. Again, we're not in a fear-based place. We're just in a, let's just do what we can do now. And it's going to save us some money. If we're not buying these things in the fall, we're going to be saving that money. And that's what I'm all about. So I just wanted to show you my new freezer, maybe provide some inspiration to anybody else who is out there wondering what they can do on a small scale. You don't need to have a big garden. You don't need to have a ton of space. There are things that you can do on a small scale, and every little thing you do will help as you move forward. And it's so fun for me because I've been homesteading seriously for about 2 years, and there are so many things that I don't need to buy from the grocery store anymore. soda. I'm still buying soda, but I was buying a 2-liter bottle of soda. I was buying like 8 of them a month. I'm not doing that anymore. I buy maybe 1 a month. So I'm really cutting down on my soda usage. Things like mayonnaise, tortillas, pierogies, bread, I'm no longer buying. I'm making them myself. And I'm making them for half the cost. And it's great because I'm seeing this in my grocery bill. So right now, I do have a ton of food put back. Every January, Three Rivers Homestead does a pantry challenge. And you don't go to the grocery store for about 3 months. The goal is, you pick the goal, you pick how long you want to do it. But the ultimate goal is to do 3 months. And I did it this year, and last year I did it, and I had so much fun doing it because I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the pantry stock like I do. This year I did 3 months, and it was no fuss. I did longer than that. I think I went 4 months, and it was no fuss, and I didn't even enjoy it because I'm like, well, this is normal for me. So I do have a ton of food put back in this house, absolutely. But at the same time, I go to the grocery store and do a big purchase once every 3 or 4 months. Now again, it is just me. I go to my parents and eat once a week. It is, my parents do send food down a lot with me. So there are definitely some holdups with what I'm doing, but I'm able to spread. But I've noticed, even with the same lifestyle that I have right now, I'm only going to the grocery store once every 4 months for a big purchase, whereas I was going once every other month. And my once every other month purchase was about $150, and now it's about $250, which isn't that bad when you count in the inflation. Everything has gone up, of course. And then right now what I'm doing is, again, I'm buying that meat when it's on sale. I'm buying those things that are on sale. And if there's something that I need, if I can make it, I'm making it. My grocery cart right now that I have that I need to go pick up one day this week is entirely pantry ingredients: flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, salt, some evaporated milk I always have on hand, some vinegar. So it's all things I need to make something else. There's nothing on there that is already pre-made. So it's been really fun for me the past 2 years to see how much my dependence on grocery stores has cut down, and to see all the things that I now don't need to buy, I can make myself. And again, I'm making it for just a fraction of the cost. 2 years ago when I started this whole homesteading journey, I didn't really realize how much it would affect my everyday life, and it really has. I'm really relying more on what is in my house to cook. I'm not sitting here and I'm like, oh, I really want to make this. I need to go to the grocery store. That's not a thing I do anymore. I even when I have company, even when I have guests over, I really like, let's turn to the freezer, let's see what the freezers have, and then plan your meal from there. So I just encourage you, trying to send you guys some inspiration. Hopefully you're picking it up. Start small. Start wherever you can. Buy the bag of dehydrated eggs that you can use in the fall in case you can get eggs. Buy the extra gallons of water. Buy whatever you can buy. Buy the meat that's on sale. Buy whatever you can buy now to put it back. And just prepare yourselves for the possibility of rising food costs, because I think at this point it's not a possibility, it's a reality. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please also check out my Instagram, Farm Girl Diaries. You can contact me on there. I'd love to talk to everybody. And I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.